Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucas Green here on the Adam Ferns channel, and it'll also be uploaded on the Adam Ferns archive channel. This is the ranking of the What's New Scooby-Doo monsters. Because Adam did this for my birthday, so it's only fair I do it for his. I did some classes here: Star Class, A Class, B Class, C, D Class, and Trash on the monsters here. If this video does get cut off, I'll have to edit it together, so best of luck with that. Let's get to it. We've got a bunch of monsters to get through to. Starting off on the list, we have ourselves the 30-foot Shaggy monster. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about it, like who the criminals are and all that, because if we did that, that would take in longer, and also I would spoil the episode, and I don't want to do that for you guys. So next time I do re-rank this, again, that's another thing I want to bring up real quick, is that I haven't seen this show in quite a while, so I'm gonna be rewatching it with Adam, and we will be updating our lists. So I feel like the second time around watching it, I'll have a better understanding of where I put these characters. So anyway, like I said, 30-foot Shaggy. I remember this episode pretty well. So we've got the Star Class. I don't think he would qualify for that. A class, he's not necessarily that memorable, to be honest. I'll leave him here at the B class for now, for his destructive power. If that changes, I'll move him up. No, next up we have the Mystery Machine, which actually did become a threat at one point in an early episode of the series. I think it was episode 4, I may be wrong with that. But I feel like the concept of having that's sort of a good thing that mystery this series does, is have unique ideas for monsters and creatures. Like, you never suspect to see Shaggy as, well, maybe there was at one time in that werewolf thing, but having the Mystery Machine itself become haunted and possessed is a kind of neat idea. And it does it does bring, an interesting thread, like how do we defeat this thing without destroying it, because it's something we like. The episode itself kind of has a bit of a jarring ending, but I still think its look still strikes memorable features to me more than the 30-foot Shaggy did. So I'll say A class for me. Next up we have the Baseball Spectre. I believe that's what he's called. This is an episode to me that's forgettable. I barely even remember watching it at all, and if I did, I forget who the bad guy was over time. So I feel like rewatching this episode for me will be a nice refresher. So since I don't remember much about him, I'm gonna have to put him in the D class tier. Not because of it. I forget so much about this character. It's hard to really root for someone who I've forgotten about. But I wouldn't call him trash, because I think there is a thing with me and Adam about baseball that we can't seem to escape from. Next up, we have the cat creature, which is, there's many cat creatures in the series of Scooby Doo. Poor Scooby. Because of its unique jumping ability and how it's able to snag around the place, I do kind of like it a lot. So I'm going to be generous and put it in the A tier. And this is going on the level of the monster itself, not who the bad guy is, because that's basically revealing the episode. This is just like the monster themselves. Moving on from that, we've got ourselves the Centaur, which Adam will be praising over, but I don't think he enjoys the Centaur much as others, because there are other ones that are better than it. But yeah, so for me, I'm gonna say the Centaur, to me, even though it's kind of like how do I put this? It's like there's a Scooby-Doo episode, but the big deal about this episode is that the monologue seems kind of like a one-note deal. And it's about the mystery, it's more about the mystery gang trying to be proven right about something. So, it's kind of an odd episode, really. So I guess I'll put it in the C tier, because how baffling that episode was. Heck, the 30-foot Shaggy was more memorable. Moving on, we have, I think this is the robot cowboys. That's what I remember about it. I'm gonna put them in the C tier for me. Would I say they're more memorable than the Centaur? I don't think so, because they're just cowboys to me, just robots. It's sort of a weak thing, but I do remember them more than the Baseball Spectre. So there's that for you. Next up, we have the coral creature. I believe that's what it's called. This one I kind of do remember. But I wouldn't call it as so memorable. But for me, I guess I prefer him more than the Centaur. I like the Centaur more. So, but I'll put him above the robots, because again, he's more destructive. He looks more like. And if wasn't there a twist that wasn't this creature real or something? I forget. I'll try to get filled in. Oh, here we go. The lighthouse. Wasn't this the lighthouse keeper or lighthouse creeper? Because he kind of looks like the creeper in a way if you think about it. But this is one of my favorite monsters in Scooby because of such a cool design and how it's trying to crash the ships. Because normally a lighthouse keeper, I believe, is meant to turn the lighthouse to find the boats so they can avoid the rocks. This one's purposely trying to kill lighthouse keepers. But now there is actually an actual reason for his behavior, which is due to who he is. But still, I do like the concept of it. I'm going to be generous and put him in the S tier for me. Moving on, we've got ourselves the Demon Farmer, which I believe was Adam's favourite monster, which I can buy, because that looking at it, it does look like a creature you would actually see in a horror movie. Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of the ranking of the Scooby-Doo monsters. I just put the Demon Farmer in the S tier because of like how frightening he is. I can see that as an actual horror monster from a horror movie. And Adam made some good points about the character too. So yeah, even seeing him in the show, I remember back in the day, he was pretty creepy. The only weakness again relates to the culprit, but I'm not going to give away who that is. But as it stands, the Demon Farmer going after puppies, it makes you feel scared for more and more. Because normally you feel so scared for puppies, but now you feel even more scared for them. So I buy that as an S tier creature. Moving on, we've got the Gigantosaurus. This is a nostalgic one for me. I know Adam doesn't like this one to me, but he calls it the dinosaur spirit, which is, I guess, kind of a fitting name, but I always prefer calling it Gigantosaurus. Now, if I put it in, I feel like if I put this creature in S tier, it's going to be more biased, but no, it's my personal choice. It's basically a destructive force, and I'll be putting it in the A tier, top A tier for me. I prefer it more than Mystery Machine. That's just me. So I like the Gigantosaurus. That's my personal. The dragon thing here, the Avalon dragon or the Chinese dragon, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of forgettable to me. I know like there was a kind of a childish reason for its purpose. Yeah, it's basically another big creature that serves as a destructive force. The 30-foot Shaggy kind of has more power to do so. The Gigantosaurus is probably more nostalgic to me. So I guess on this level, I'm going to put this creature in behind 30-foot Shaggy for me. Again, dragons are cool, but I feel like the 30-foot Shaggy did it better at that job. Next up we have the Faceless Phantom, I believe that's what it's called. Again, I apologise if I forget these names, but I think it's called the Faceless Phantom. And its mysterious, alluring appearance is pretty cool. So I guess for that one, I'm going to go with... Ooh, I think I preferred the cat creature a bit more. So I'm going to put him, the Faceless Phantom, behind the cat creature there. Next up, we have this fish creature that I don't know why, but Adam seems to think it's very scary. I kind of don't. It's kind of forgettable to me. And I don't want to put it in the D tier. I really do not. Because I put the forgettable ones for me in the D tier. And I don't really forget him. So I guess I'll put him in the C tier. But I feel like the creature, like the coral creature, has a better job of doing this thing. So that's where I'm going to go with it. It is hard for me, but that's where I'm going to put the coral creature. Not the coral. That's where I'm going to put the fish creature. I know what to call him, because I'm sure he has a proper name, but I forget what it is. Next up we have the Frozen Fiend, which is it. Scooby-Doo likes doing a lot of sport creatures. This one's kind of chilling to me. There was actually good motivation for who the culprit was, but they kind of toned it out and changed it, which kind of weakened it for me. So I'm putting that in the B tier there. Still, its frightening appearance and its destructive power isn't really as better as other creatures, so that's why it's going in the last place for me on the B tier there. Moving on, we've got ourselves the Gargoyle. Kind of forgettable, but not really, because I can kind of remember those episodes of the Hunchback guy. So this is C tier for me. I feel like it's more useful than the sea creature there. And probably that guy. I'm going to say it goes at the top for me on the C tier there. So put that there. There we go. That's just me because of what the Gargoyle can do, basically. Rufus Rockus, the ghost of Rufus Rockus. Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of this ranking of the Scooby-Doo monsters here. Where next up, like I said, I was doing Rufus Rockus, and while the person behind the mask is pretty obvious, the ghost itself is pretty magical and powerful. So I'm gonna go with S tier on this one. What I say, I guess it all depends on what type of Scooby-Doo monster you're looking for. This one's more powerful than the two, but as a fear factor, I would say third spot. That's just me. Moving on the list, we have ourselves the Leland brothers. I'm gonna put those blokes. They're not as destructive as other monsters here. But I do remember them more than the gargoyle and stuff. So, B tier. Right behind the Frozen Fiend. And next up we have the Glasgow Dragon, aka Furno. Put her in the S tier automatically, and I'm gonna give her I'll put her above Rufus Rockus. I may put her higher, but as it stands, I feel like the Lighthouse Creeper is more intimidating than that guard. Next up we have the Golden Man. I don't really care if this one's very forgettable. I can remember him more than the Baseball Spectre though, so I'll put him there. Also, El Gusano Grande, the Giant Worm. This one's gonna go for me in... Well, it is a destructive one. So, I'm gonna go with... right behind the Chinese Dragon. Next up we have the Headless Snowman, which actually does have a head. So for this one, I'm gonna pop this guy in about... Where should it be? Oh, come on, think. Let's say... He is very memorable to me, so I'm gonna go with the A tier for this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the A tier. I remember him more. And he had a good chase sequence too, so... But bottom of the A tier, that's fine. Invisible Madman, okay, S tier automatically. And for now, normally in a Scooby mystery, it's hard to know who the villain is, but this is very interesting because you can barely see him. So for that regard, for me, he's the #1 Scooby-Doo monster. So I'm gonna put him in as the star class top monster of all. Even though the mystery itself was pretty weak, but the monster himself, you could barely see him, so you can hardly take off his mask. His cool concept, putting him highest above all the other monsters in my opinion. Next up we have, I think it's Jeeves was the robot's name, but the creepy robot, I'm gonna put him in, well, C-class tier. The Leland Brothers were more memorable, right behind the coral creature, I would say. Next up we have the creepy clown guy. This is also forgettable, so I remember him more than this Baseball Spectre guy. And since he's more destructive than the Golden Man, I will put him above that. So that's how I'm doing it. Now, this is another creature that's forgettable to me. I can't remember why, but it just is. I'm not sure, so... It's more destructive than these two, so I'll put it there. But I do remember the clown a tiny bit more. The demon animals, they're not really that forgettable. They are pretty weak, so C-class them, and I'm going to put them right above. Since there's multiple numbers, I'm going to put them right behind the coral creature, because of quantity. Then we have the evil double gangers of the Scooby-Doo clones. This is kind of forgettable. I do remember them more than others. So, I guess... The Baseball Spectre is probably more powerful, so I'm going to put them right behind there. The Ozomots... Gremlin-like creatures. Not really forgettable, but they are in the C tier for me. I would say the robot cowboys are more useful, so the Ozomots, whatever. Then we have the mummy creature. I'm sure there's an little name for this guy, but I forget what it is. But I think it was a pretty creepy kind of looking mummy, so A tier for this guy. How powerful he is. I remember the dinosaur more. The Mystery Machine seems more intimidating. Cat creature. I put him right behind the cat creature then. And moving on, we've got the roller coaster. This is a classic one for me. So for nostalgia reasons, I'm putting him high in probably the A tier. I wouldn't say he would qualify for the S tier, but A tier, sure. Whereabouts? I guess behind, on a monster level, I would say right behind the Faceless Phantom guy. And then, I can't remember, come on. The San Francisco, yeah. That is a sick design. Nonetheless, we are on the San Francisco. This is a tough one to think over. S tier or A tier. His creepy design, not as destructive, but I would say he's more memorable, so I'm going with it. S tier he is. And the weakest spot, but for me, S tier, I'm going it for. I just can't deny him. So there we go. Okay, now we have these the creepy farmers as I call them. I think that's a better name, but yeah, they are creepy. So I'm gonna go with the E tier on this one because they can pop out weapons that makes them kind of lethal. They're kind of like weaker versions of the demon farmer. So I'm gonna say right in front of the headless snowman. Next up, we have the toys that come alive. Not forgettable, I do remember them. They're kind of weaker versions of the Ocelot, though, so D tier. The Scooby Snack Monster, pretty, first of all, disgusting, but pretty interesting idea. So, I guess B tier. Leland Brothers, better than that. I'm gonna go with... I think Cassandra is more better, so I'm gonna put him right there. Next up, we have this skeleton. What was he? The skeleton race car driver thing, who is monster truck thing. The victim I sympathize. The creature itself, um, it just destroys cars on the racetrack. So that knowledge, B tier, I guess. That's how generous I'll be. Better than the Leland Brothers, more destructive than the Frozen Fiend. Scooby Snack Monster, I could just see Splat and reviving, so I'm gonna put that there, that's fine. Kind of like a weak version of Galsano Grande, not in the big scale though. Next up we have the Ice Creature. So this one's more destructive. But I like how he moves through the snow. I'm probably gonna say B tier for this one as well. Hmm. I'm gonna say behind Scooby Snack Monster, because how durable it is there. Alien is the first creature we ever got. Pretty standard issue though. So probably a bleed class monster on my regard. I feel like the Leland Brothers are a bit more useful because there's more of them. So there we go. Next up, we've got ourselves the Titanic Twist. Pretty useful creature on its look. I guess A tier for creative ability and how how it's able to knock out all those fighters, but right in the lower class of it. Sure. Next up we have the Toxic Terror. This is also forgettable to me. So I remember it probably the most out of all these forgettable ones. So there we go, D class there. The Vampire, I remember this one's pretty memorable. Maybe because of the Hex Girls, I suppose. Leland Brothers, yeah, remember it more than that. Due to what it is, I will say right behind the Frozen Fiend there on the B class. That's just me. Then we have the Falcon, and after the Gladiator. The Gladiator I can't even remember, so trash. Well, I can remember him just barely, but he's probably the one villain I can remember nothing about. The Falcon, yeah, at least I can remember that. And that's gonna be behind Golden, in front of the Golden guy. But yeah, that's my ranking. Gladiator, I can barely remember anything about that guy. Scooby-Doo clones, yeah, they're pretty good. I feel like the Baseball Spectre is probably a bit more stronger. Golden Man, probably tougher. Then I did the Eagle for its size, and then the Nessie-like creature there. Seemed more intimidating. The crown looks pretty creepy, so its creep factor overdoes that. The Toxic Terror, due to its toxicity, puts itself on the highest of the D tier. Next up, we have ourselves the toys, pretty weak, but the Ocelots just go one step beyond it. Then the Cowboys, robots, pretty intimidating. Then, kind of like Terminators. Next up, you've got the fish creature, as I call it. It's creepy. Hey guys, welcome back. Like I was just saying, the fish creature was next. Its creepy design puts it above the cowboy robots. Next up, I have Jeeves. He's not as intimidating as the creature. I feel like he has advantage on its technical edge. He has advantage on the area he's in because he has a bit more control of it. So that's why I put him a bit above him. Next up, we have the animal creatures, which outdoes Jeeves in number and quantity. And I feel like the coral creature is one step beyond the animals because of its bulk and size. And something else at the end. Centaur, more memorable. Ben the Gargoyle, a bit more. I see it's one step beyond it because like it can fly and do more damage on that regard. Next up, we have the alien. First creature, nostalgia puts it up this high. Ben the Leland Brothers again, nostalgia. I feel like they're more memorable than the alien though. Vampire again, a bit of nostalgia there, but again, one step higher than the Leland Brothers. This is where we get to some good ones now. The Frozen Fiend, probably the weakest of these, but its destructive power and its ice ability, pretty in its creepy design, puts up there. Same with the skeleton race car driver there. Destructive power puts it above the ghost, the Frozen Fiend. Next up, we have the ice creature again. Well, again, but he's more destructive, I find, than the skeleton guy there. The Scooby-Doo creature, the Scooby Snack monster, basically. It's creepy factor and it's hard to kill. Well, I won't say hard to kill ability, but creatures that are normally made of slime are normally hard to kill. They can just reform. And yes, I know these creatures are mostly creatures in masks and stuff, but the idea of it is still fascinating to me, and that's where I'm coming from. Gusano Grande, this is where we get to these three destructive ones now. Gusano Grande able to destroy most of the race car drivers on the track. They're kind of like the skeleton guy, but a bit more Gusano Grande in its design. He had better presentation. The Chinese dragon seems more destructive, able to fight off a giant robotic duck. Watch the episode. And then finally, top of that tier would be the 30-foot Shangi, like Godzilla size. Next up, we have the Titanic Twist. Its unique design puts it up this high. Then we have the Headless Snowman, which actually does have a head. Its unique size and destructibility puts it up that high. The Demon Farmer, not the Demon Farmer, the Pumpkin Farmer's creepy design puts it up this high. And then we have ourselves the roller coaster is nostalgic, so I'm going up with that high. Then I have the Faceless Phantom. Its creepy design puts it up this high, walking around the Phantom and using its ghostly abilities. Next up, we have the Creepy Mummy, and its hypnotic power, and I think it's hypnotic power, but something like that. And its creepy demeanor hanging on the side of the pyramid is pretty cool. And then we've got the Cat Creature. Its useful ability of jumping around puts it up this high for me. I feel like it's able to get around more than the Mummy could. That's just me. Next up, we have the Mystery Machine. Its creepy factor and hard to destroy something that we care about is that high. The Gigantosaurus is my favorite on the A tier. It's nostalgic and it's a bloody T-Rex. You got to put it this high. Well, not really a T-Rex. It's still a dinosaur, and dinosaur has a lot of love. Finally, we have the S tier, and it comes down to the top 6 creatures here. At the bottom, we have the San Fran Psycho. It's got a great design, something I could see on a biker's shirt, pretty awesome with the seaweed and all that. And then we have ourselves one step higher with the Ghost of Rufus Rockus, probably one of the greatest sorcerers in this franchise. So that's why he's up this high, able to do any ability once. Then the Glassbro Dragon, powerful, iconic, resembles Furno in its design. You cannot deny, and it's got a catchy theme song too. Then we've got the Demon Farm. Its freaky design and creepiness is that of a horror movie. I can buy that. Second place to me is the Lighthouse Keeper. I feel like this, if I was in this situation, I would be F the fuck out. Even though I don't know why I censored my F because I just cursed right after. But I would, because like I could just see myself going inside this lighthouse, going up the stairs, and he's waiting for me. Oh my god, that's just like a nightmare fuel right there. And what he's doing to other people, killing them by using the light to his advantage. That's just frank. That's just great storytelling. I feel like it's a great fish tale that I could hear. Next up, finally, we have, of course, no surprise, the Invisible Madman. I think, like, the whole point of Scooby-Doo is, like, you take off the mask, mask the bad guy or something like that. But this one, you can't really do that, so he has the advantage over that. And that, to me, makes him the most terrifying. He's like something out of a lethal horror movie. So that's why this is how I rank the order there. So hopefully, Adam, you did enjoy this video. Sorry it was in parts, but again, I'm having a bit of issues with my mobiles and on the internet here. Nonetheless, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hope you have a happy, great birthday, however you should spend it. I'll upload this ASAP, and then I'll re-upload it on the other channel. Thank you all for watching, like always. Peace.